everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne. Today's video is something that was voted for over on my community tab, and I asked you what you would like to see from my next video. Now this video is actually coming to you a little bit sooner than planned. This room that I'm in now, my lovely sewing room, we were supposed to be transforming this into our baby's nursery this weekend, but we weren't able to get our order of paint and things like that we needed in time. So it's still my lovely sewing room for now. But I thought I would look at the votes, see which video was the most popular and bring it to you today. So here we are. The video that was voted for by most of you is organising my fabric stash using Trello. So the reason that I want to do this is I have quite a large fabric stash, as you can see behind me there, and it's all stored open plan on that Kallax unit from IKEA. So I can see all of my fabric all of the time. I have it organised mainly by colour. There's just I think one section which is a bit of a mix of fabrics that don't fit into any of the other sections. So I can see at a glance the fabric that I've got, and if I feel inspired to make a pattern or if I want to make a particular garment, I can go over there and I can have a look and see what fabrics I could use. But because we are moving this room up to the top floor and I'll be sharing a space with Sam, I'm not going to have that storage unit. That storage unit is going to stay in here and it's going to be used for all of the baby's things. Instead, I've got a smaller storage unit upstairs which has doors on it, so my fabric stash is going to be hidden away. I'm not going to be able to see it all of the time. So that made me a little bit worried, and I thought, how am I going to get that inspiration? How am I going to know what I've got at a glance? How am I going to choose a fabric without having to crawl on the floor because it's going to be under my desk, rummage through and try and find something that fits the fabric requirements of the pattern that I want to make? So then I remembered that a while ago I'd been listening to the Love to Sew podcast with Helen and Caroline, and they had been talking about a program or an app called Trello that you can use to organise your fabric, your patterns, whatever it is that you want to organise. So I thought I would take a little look at it, and then it just so happened that Keely, my friend who is Voice of a Creative on YouTube and Instagram, actually started her own Trello board recently to organise all of her patterns, and then she was going to use it for her fabrics as well. So I thought, now is the time. Now is the time to get organised and put all of my fabric into this app or this website where I could organise it all, see what I've got, organise it by fabric type, list the different characteristics of the fabric, what I plan on using it for, that sort of thing. So that's what I've decided to do. Just before we go any further, if you were interested in what I'm wearing, this is the Closet Case Ebony tee made in Liberty viscose jersey from Guthrie and Ghani. So just to start off with what Trello actually is. Trello is a collaboration tool and it organises projects into different boards. So it's used often for people in maybe businesses that are collaborating on a project and they're working together on something, and different people take on a different role and contribute in different ways, but then they can all access the same board. They can see what has been done, what other people have done, and it kind of brings everything together for those people that are working on that project. So that's why it was designed, and that's mainly what it's used for. But it can be used in many other ways, as you're going to see today. What you have to do when you want to access Trello is you go onto the website, or you can download it as an app onto your phone. Now I've done both and I'll explain why very soon. You go onto Trello and you set up an account, which is free. You can pay to access additional features, but I've just got the free version and that's all that I need. So I am on my laptop and I've signed up to Trello. I've done that through my Google, my Gmail email address, so you can just sign in using that if you've got one, or you can sign in using whatever email address you use, and then you have a Trello account. And I've done the same on my phone as well. So I've got the app on my phone so I can use both. And I actually use both to organise my fabric, and I'll explain that. So once you've set up your account on Trello, what you need to do is create a board. And you can have different boards for different things. So I could have a fabric collection board, I could have a pattern collection board, for example. So all I did was set up a board and I called it my fabric collection. Now you can call it whatever you want to call it. So once you've set up your board, your screen will then look something like this. So we've got the title of our board, and then we've got your name, whatever you've chosen as your name. Now I'm logged in as Sewn on the Tyne because that's what my Gmail address is. So that's there. The word free is there just to show that I have a free account. Team visible just means that if I've invited other members of a team to be able to see this board, they can do that and they can edit the board. However, I haven't done that because this is just for my use. There's an invite button where I could invite other people to be part of my board if I wanted to. Then if we scroll along to the right hand side, we've got Butler, which is a bit like a help feature, and then we've got a menu here. Now if I click on that menu, I can change the background of my board. Now you can see that I've got just a lovely, I think it's just the sea, like waves and things like that, but if I wanted to change that background, I could click on to change background. I could opt for photos or colours. Now you could have a custom background where I think you could upload your own background, but I just like the ones that they've got. They've got a huge range. So if I click on photos, I can then scroll down and choose whatever background I want. There we go, I've gone back to the one that I had at the start. I do like this one. So once I've chosen, I just go back, and then click the X to get rid of that menu. So I've got my background. Now, what you can then see is some different categories here. So you can see I've got viscose jersey, viscose and rayon, sweatshirting and French terry. These different categories are called lists, and you can have as many lists as you want on your board, and you can just add another list by clicking on the option here to add another list, which we'll be doing very soon. Then within each list you then add cards, so you've got the option add a card. You can see in viscose and rayon I've already got a card, so it will be add another card. In sweatshirt and in French terry I haven't got anything yet, so my first one would be to add a card. So I'm going to show you the card that I've already added into viscose and rayon, and then I'm going to show you how to add more cards. So if I just go to here, you can see I've got a photo of some fabric and I've called it red floral viscose. If I click onto there, it will show me the whole card. So it will give me again the title, it gives me the description. Now I've written this description myself, you can add anything you want into that description. So what I've chosen to add is the name of the fabric from the website that I purchased it. So this one's called Ariana Red Viscose. I've then added where I bought it from and when. So I bought it from Material Girl Laura in March 2020. I then have got the size of the fabric. So I've got 1 metre of that and it's 140 centimetres wide. I've got the fabric composition, which is 100% viscose. And then I've decided to add my plan. So if I've got a plan for that fabric in mind, I've added that, and my plan for this fabric is the True Bias Ogden Cami. If we just scroll down a bit more, you can see attachments. I've attached a photo of that fabric, and if I wanted to, I could add another attachment, and that attachment could be the pattern photo from the Ogden Cami if I wanted to. Then in activity, this is where if different people were collaborating on a project, they would type in their activity and you could see what everybody's done. All I've put in activity is pre-washed because I've pre-washed that fabric already. So that is a card. Now there are other features, but there's nothing else that I need for my fabric. I've got everything in there that I would want to have in there. A photo of the fabric, I've got a description, with every bit of information that I would need, and then I know that it's been pre-washed already. So to move away from that card, I just click on the X. So time to add another card. What I've done is I've got a pile of fabric next to me here that I need to add on. Now I've got probably over 100 fabrics. It's not realistic for me to think that I'm going to add all of these fabrics today, because I'm not. But I'm going to set myself a little target of perhaps adding 5 or 10 fabrics each day until they're all uploaded. That makes it more manageable and less of a chore. So to add a fabric, for example this one. Now this is a viscose jersey that I bought recently. I've already created a list for viscose jersey, so I'm on to a winner already. So to add this fabric, I need to add a card. So I click on Add Card, and I'm going to enter a title for this card. Now, I could go onto the website where I bought this fabric from to see what they called it. So I'm going to do that. I bought this from the New Craft House. Type in New Craft House. Then if I click on Shop and Fabric, I'm going to scroll down until I see the fabric that I bought. There it is. Pink Posy Floral Jersey. So I'm going to go back to my fabric collection board. I'm going to enter a title, Pink Posy Floral Jersey. Click enter, and there's our card. To then add the details to that card, I'm going to click on it, and I can add a more detailed description. So the first thing that I want to add is, well, the name of the fabric. That's in the title, so I don't actually need to do that. Where I bought it from, so bought from New Craft House in March 2020. Then I need to know how much I've got of that fabric. So I'm going to click on the fabric on the New Craft House website. Tells me the width of the fabric, 150 centimetres wide, and I know that I bought 2 metres of this fabric. So I can go back to there and I can say 2 metres times 150 centimetres. And see if there's anything else that we need to add. So they have described the composition as a viscose blend, because the New Craft House get a lot of their fabrics, or all of their fabrics, from designers. So they're all ex-designer dead stock fabrics. They don't always have the actual composition of the fabric. So I'm just going to say it's a viscose blend. And they said it's got 30% width way stretch. Right, then if I've got a plan for this fabric, I'm going to add it in there. Now I don't have a firm plan, but I'm thinking possibly, so I'm going to say possibly, the named kilo wrap dress, and I'm going to say short version. That's my possible plan, a tentative plan. So I've added that in. There we go, that's all of the information I need. So I'm going to save that. Activity, I've pre-washed it, so I'm going to type that in. And then we need to attach a photograph. Now, there are different ways you could do it. You could take photos on a camera, upload them onto your computer. The easiest way that I think, or that's easiest for me, is to take the photo on my phone and upload it onto Trello on the app, and then it will appear on there. So I go onto my phone and onto Trello, click on my board, and I click on my viscose jersey, my pink posy floral jersey, and I click on Add Attachments. Now you then have the options, choose a file, take a photo. Now I've got the fabric here with me, I could take a photo, but I was prepared and I took one earlier. So I'm going to say choose from photos. Then it brings up my photos and it brings up the photo of that fabric that I took earlier. So now that has attached, and in a couple of moments that will pop up on the screen. What I can do is just click on the X there. Oh, actually there it is. I was going to refresh, but I don't need to because it's appeared. There is my photo of the fabric. So that's everything that I need to add to that card. I click on the X and there we go. Right, this fabric can go out of the way for now and we can add another one. So I picked up some fabric this week from Like So Amazing, and 3 of them are cotton jerseys. So I'm going to add these. Now I don't have a list which is cotton jersey, so I need to make one by clicking on add another list, and in here, cotton jersey. There we go. So I want to add a card because I want this fabric to be a card within my cotton jersey list. So I add the card there, a title for this card. Right, so I'm going to go to Like So Amazing. I'm going to find the fabric that I bought. I could go into my emails and go into my invoice as well, that would be another way of doing it, but just to show you this way, obviously if your fabric was purchased from a store, or if you've had it for a long time, which some of my fabrics I have, you wouldn't be able to do this part of it. You would have to just name the fabric yourself. Right, this is taking a little while to load up. Right, jersey, here we go. Right, so we're on Like So Amazing and we are on the jersey page. I'm just going to scroll down until I find the fabric that I have purchased. Try not to be tempted by other fabrics while I'm here. There we go. Right, so it's called Tic-Tac-Toe Cotton Jersey. So I'm going to go back to my fabric collection. I'm going to add a card, Tic-Tac-Toe Cotton Jersey, and add card. Then if I was to write in there, that will be adding another card. So I'm going to go and click on Tic-Tac-Toe Cotton Jersey, and that's where I can add a detailed description. So I'm going to say bought from Like So Amazing in April 2020. I know I've got 1 metre of that, and let's go and find out the width. So if I click on there, it is 150 centimetres wide. The composition, 95% cotton, 5% elastane with 90% stretch. So 95% cotton and 5% elastane with 90% stretch. And then if I've got a plan for this fabric, I would add it in. And actually I know that this fabric is an art gallery fabric. I don't think it's listed on here, it's not, but I saw it the other day on Minerva in their art gallery fabrics, so I'm going to add in that it's an art gallery fabric because I might need to know that. So my plan for this fabric is a t-shirt or top, but I haven't decided on the pattern yet, so I'm just going to write that in and then I'm going to click save. Now activity, I haven't pre-washed this or anything, so I'm not going to add anything in there, but I want to attach a photo. So remember, the way that I'm going to do that is by using my phone. So go to my phone, go back to Trello. I'm going to go to my cotton jersey card, Tic-Tac-Toe Cotton Jersey. I'm going to click on add attachment. Now I haven't taken a photo of this one yet, so I'm just going to take a photo of the fabric. Trello would like to access your camera. Yes, you have to say OK. It brings up my camera and I can now take a photo. So I'm going to put the fabric down there, take a photo, check I'm happy with that, yes that's fine, use the photo, and there we go. Now if we give that a couple of seconds it should then appear on the screen. And there we go, done. So to get away from there, it just saves as it goes, so I just click on the X and that one's done. I know I need to pre-wash that fabric. I bought a couple more from Like So Amazing, so I'm actually going to do these now as well. I'm going to do this one next because I just spotted this one on the website. There it is, sage and white striped cotton jersey. So I'm going to add this one next. So I add another card, sage and white striped cotton jersey. Click on there, we can add the information. Bought from Like So Amazing in April 2020. I've got 1 metre of that, and let's find out how wide it is. 150 centimetres wide. The composition on the website, 92% cotton and 8% elastane with, how much stretch does this one have? 70% stretch. And then my plan for this one is again t-shirt or top, but I haven't decided on a pattern. Click save. I haven't pre-washed it yet, so no activity. And to attach a photo, I go back to my phone, click on my card, add attachment, take a photo of this fabric. Happy with that, use the photo, and then again it should pop up on my screen. And there it is. So that's another card done. Click on the X. Right, so now when we look at our board, my fabric collection board, I can see I've got viscose jersey category with only 1 card added so far. I've got my viscose and rayon category with 1 card added so far. My sweatshirt in a French terry, I haven't added any cards yet. And then my cotton jersey, I've got 2 cards in there. I have got another cotton jersey to add, but I'm going to do that later. I'm going to add 1 more fabric now, just to show you adding another category. And then what I'm going to do is go away, spend a bit of time today adding a few more fabrics, and then I'll come back to you later and show you my progress. So the last one I'm going to add is this one. I also got from Like So Amazing, and it's a double gauze. Now I'm going to give that its own category. I could have a category just called cotton, but I have bought a few double gauzes recently, so I'm going to add that as a new list. So add list, double gauze. There we go. So we've now got our double gauze list, and I want to add this fabric as a card. So add a card. I'm going to go back to Like So Amazing, and I'm going to find this fabric. Now I think it will be listed as cotton. There we go. Rainbow double gauze. So let's go back and call it that. Rainbow double gauze. Add card. So I can click on there. Again, bought from Like So Amazing in April 2020. I've got 1 metre of that, and let's find out the width. 132 centimetres wide. The composition is 100% cotton. And then my plan for this is muslin cloths for baby. So yeah, I'm just going to cut this up into squares or rectangles, finish the edges, and they will be muslin cloths to wipe up our baby's sick. and face and things. It's really, really soft, so that's perfect. So I can just save that. Again, I haven't pre-washed it yet, so I'm not going to do anything in activity. I want to attach a photo. I'm going to do that using my phone. So I'm going to go along to double gauze, rainbow double gauze, add attachment, take photo, happy with that, so use the photo and then it should pop up. And there we go. So let's just come out of there, and there you can see my fabric collection board. So like I said at the start, the reasons for me wanting to organise my fabric using Trello is that I'm no longer going to be able to see all of my fabric on display. It's going to be hidden behind the doors of a new storage unit, and I want to be able to see what I've got, so that if inspiration hits me, or if I've got a pattern that I need a metre of cotton jersey for, I can go to my fabric collection board and I can have a look at the options that I've got, and then it just helps me and narrows down my choices and stops me having to rummage through my whole fabric storage unit. It also will be very useful if I'm out and about, say if I'm in a shop, obviously once everything's back to normal or as normal as it can be, and we can go to shops again, and if I see a pattern that I want to buy, then I could think, right, well I either need to buy some fabric now to make this pattern, or let's have a quick look at my Trello board on my phone and let's see if I've already got fabric that would be suitable. Because sometimes it might be that I was going to pick out a fabric in a shop when actually I've got something suitable or very similar at home, and then it saves money and it saves doubling up on fabric, which is unnecessary. I think it'll also be really useful maybe if I'm just sitting on the sofa of an evening and I think, oh, I really want to just have a look at what I've got, have a look at my fabric, maybe see again what fabric I've got that would suit a particular pattern, for example. I can just do that by looking through the app on my phone. So I think it's really going to help me in my sewing journey. It's going to help me be really organised. It's going to help me see what I've got at a glance without having it all on display. I just think it's going to be a really useful thing. I also think it's not very difficult to do. Hopefully that's come across in the video, that it's really straightforward. It doesn't take an awful lot of time. And like I said, setting myself a goal of a few fabrics a day is manageable, and I should be able to get it all on there. The only thing is, fabrics that I've had for a while that I haven't purchased recently, which is quite a lot, I am going to have to measure, so I might not be able to remember how much length I purchased, so I'd have to measure the length of the fabric and also measure the width of that, so that would take a little bit more time. But that's fine. Again, just set myself a goal of a few a day and it's manageable, especially in these times where we've, you know, a lot of us have got more time at home. It's the perfect time to do something like this and organise your collection. As I said earlier, this can be used for patterns as well, and I think I would like to organise all of my patterns onto here because I've got so many PDF patterns that sometimes I forget what I've got. And again, it would just be a way of thinking, right, I want to make a dress. Let's have a look at my dress patterns, and each list on my board would be a different garment type. So I would have dresses, tops, jumpers, trousers, for example. So that's for the future, but for now, just my fabric collection is going to be organised. So I'm going to go away now and I'm going to spend a bit of time uploading some more fabrics onto here, and then I'm going to come back on and show you how far I've got. I really hope this has helped you and maybe inspired you to do the same, or just shown you a way that you can organise your fabric. I'd love to hear from you down below in the comments if you already organise your fabric this way, or if you have a different way of organising your fabric. I used to keep a notebook and a list and cut out little swatches, but it just became unmanageable in the end. I just couldn't keep up with it. Whereas this, I think, is much more practical and portable as well. And I didn't carry that notebook around with me because it was a big A4 notebook and it just wasn't practical to have that with me all the time. Whereas this, I think, is much more visual and much more, yeah, practical is the word. If you've got any specific questions that you would like to ask me about Trello or organising fabric in this way, please leave me a comment down below and I'll do my very best to answer. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you have, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you don't already. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all well and happy organising. Bye!